Welcome to week 4 of Explore the Bible. We're continuing in the book of Jeremiah. Today we're in chapter 12. You see that? So we're excited about this passage. We're in this time frame where Jeremiah is giving a prophecy to the nation of Israel, and they're away from God. They're not where they're supposed to be. And they're not in a captivity yet, but the Lord is saying, if you don't turn, then I'm going to bring punishment on you from other nations. And Jeremiah is really struggling with this at this point. Before we dive into the passage, be sure and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Like, comment, share. And if you want to help support our ministry, you can go to give.exposedtochrist.com and you can give there to support our teaching and our mission ministry as well. All right, let's dive into Jeremiah chapter 12. 1 to 13, it says, "You will be righteous, Lord, even if I bring a case against you, yet I wish to contend with you." Okay, this first 4 verses is Jeremiah talking to the Lord. "Why does the way of the wicked prosper? Why do all the treacherous live at ease? You planted them, and they have taken root. They have grown and produced fruit. You are ever on their lips, but far from their conscience. As for you, Lord, you know me, you see me, you test whether my heart is with you. Drag the wicked away like sheep to slaughter, set them apart for the day of killing. How long will the land mourn and the grass of every field wither? Because of the evil of its residents, animals and birds have been swept away, for the people have said, he cannot see what our end will be." Okay, Jeremiah is coming to the Lord with, he's got questions. He doesn't understand what's happening, because he sees the nations that are aligned and working against Israel, and he knows that they're evil. And so his question is, Lord, why are you using these nations against Israel? What is happening here? And he starts it out with this, look, Lord, I'm not doubting you. He says, you will be righteous, Lord. You'll be righteous. You are righteous. Your works are perfect and right. But I have a case against you. In essence, his case, what he says, I want to ask you about is, why does the wicked prosper? Lord, you're right, but why is the bad guy getting away with this? Why is he doing well? It doesn't make sense to me. He says, I know that they are treacherous. He calls them treacherous, and yet he says they live at ease. I thought those who were against you were to have a difficult and a hard life. He says it's like you planted them, they've taken root, they've grown and produced fruit. Look at what's happening to these nations that are doing so well. Boy, this really hits close, doesn't it? We realize that these questions that Jeremiah has are the same questions that we often ask today, that have been asked for all of human history. Lord, if you're good and you're righteous, and we believe that you are, then why are the wicked prospering? Why does it seem like they're doing well and we're not? And he talks about them, he says you're on their lips, but not their conscience. They may use words, but they don't have a heart for you, Lord. They're not thinking about you. They're talking about you as if, and maybe even in the sense of, the nation that believes in Yahweh is the nation that we're defeating. How good is Yahweh? They're not considering who he is. And he says, but Lord, you know me. You see me. You test whether my heart is with you. So drag the wicked away like sheep. And here's the thing I think that Jeremiah struggles with. He says, Lord, you know who I am. And why are the wicked doing this? Drag them away like sheep to slaughter. Set them apart for the day of killing. How long will the land mourn? Because when those armies come and conquer the people, they destroy the land. They want to destroy any subsistence or ability that the people have to get out of the trouble that they're in. Right? And because of the evil of its residents, the animals and the birds have been swept away. He doesn't get why this is happening. And the Lord gives him a response. The Lord responds back to him, if you have raced with runners and they have worn you out, how can you compete with horses? If you stumble in a peaceful land, what will you do in the thickets of the Jordan? But even your brothers, your own father's family, even they were treacherous to you. Even they have cried out loudly after you. Do not have confidence in them, though they may speak well of you. Okay. The Lord comes right after Jeremiah's endurance, his faithful endurance. And he says, look, you raced with you're racing with the runners, and they wore you out. The people that you're racing with wore you out. How are you going to compete with the horses? If you stumble when it's peaceful, what are you going to do in the thickets? This is, look, you're having a hard time now. Wait. How are you going to deal with it when it really gets hard? How are you going to deal with it when things really go bad? And the Lord knows what's about to happen, right? He knows what's going on, and that the rebellion against Nebuchadnezzar is going to bring complete annihilation, really, of the people. Or maybe we shouldn't say annihilation. They are going into captivity, and their nation is going to be destroyed. They're going to go into captivity for 70 years. And he's saying, Jeremiah, if you're struggling in this, what are you going to do when it really gets hard? If this wears you out, what happens when you have to do the really hard work, the difficult work? And he's reminded him, look at what the people like are around you and how bad they are, and just realize you're about to have to go live with these other people that you're so complaining about, right? He says, even your own brothers. He says, your brothers, your father's family. He says, they are treacherous to you. He says, do not have confidence in them. And in essence, I think the Lord's telling him, you think that there's good in the people around you, and so you don't understand why the really bad people are winning against the people that you think their heart are good. You need to understand they're not. They're not good. They're not. It's not that this is righteous against the wicked. It's the wicked against the wicked, and it's the really wicked against the not quite so wicked. That this is a hard place where you're living. He goes on, I have abandoned my house. I have deserted my inheritance. I've handed the love of my life over to her enemies. My inheritance has behaved toward me like a lion in the forest. She has roared against me. Therefore I hate her. Is my inheritance like a hyena to me, or birds of prey circling her? Go, gather all the wild animals, bring them to devour her. The Lord is talking of his relationship to the people of Israel. And look, this is my house, my inheritance, the love of my life, my inheritance. These are the people, this is the people of Israel. And you see this personal love, right? These words that he uses towards Israel. This was the love of my life. And I have had to I'm turning them over to her enemies. You think this is easy for me, Jeremiah? You think this is pleasurable for me? You think I gain any joy in this whatsoever? Not at all. He says, I have had to abandon them. Because they have rejected me. They have turned against me. And this is the only way that I can do what I need to do to get the people of Israel to be who I need them to be. So I have to do that. He says, look, they warred against me. So I hate her. Now this hate her is not that God hates Israel. We know that's not the case, right? But that from their side, they may see it and think that he hates her. It is to say that I have put her away, and I've acted in ways that from Israel's perspective may seem like I hate her. But she's roared against me. She's been like a hyena to me, right? Like a hyena. That this nation is falling apart, and it's so hard for Jeremiah to see this, as it is for us too, I think. But he is saying, the only way I can save her is to send her away into captivity unto those who are evil, and let them have victory over her now, so that I can redeem her back to who she's supposed to be, who I've created her to be, who I've called her to be. And boy, have you ever had to do this? Sometimes this is when a person, a child, gets to the point where they are so rebellious and so against the good, the real good in their life, that the only thing you can do is to send them into that which is really bad and pray that they come out of it. Pray they return. This is the Lord's work with them. Look what he says. Many shepherds have destroyed my vineyard. They've trampled my plot of land. They have turned my desirable plot into a desolate wasteland. They've made it a desolation. It mourns desolate before me. All the land is desolate, but no one takes it to heart. Many shepherds, the ones entrusted with the nation, the prophets and the priests and the kings, well, look what they have done. They have trampled, they've destroyed, right? They have turned this into a desolate wasteland. He uses this word 4 times. 5 times or 4 times, desolate wasteland. They've made it a desolation. It mourns desolate. All the land is desolate. That means it is completely wiped out. He's not just talking about the physical aspects of the nation. He's talking about the spiritual, more so the spiritual aspects of the nation. There is no worship for me. Look at this. And he says, all of this has happened. I've allowed all of this to happen, and no one takes it to heart. It does not seem to bother anybody. And this is why the Lord has to turn them over to Babylon, because they have gone so far away, and it appears that no one cares. No one has taken it to heart. No one has repented. No one has turned back, and that offer has always been there. If you would repent, that I would restore. But no one is bothered by this. What a terrible thing it is when you fall so deep into your sin that you don't even see that you're deep into your sin, that you can no longer even see the desolation around you, and it doesn't bother you. This is where they are. I think about people that live in in squalor, and it doesn't bother them. They don't associate the decisions that they've made in their life with the consequences that have happened to them and the condition that they now live in. They don't associate those things together. Over all the barren heights in the wilderness, the destroyers have come, for the Lord has a sword that devours from one end of the earth to the other. No one has peace. They have sown wheat, but harvested thorns. They have exhausted themselves, but have no profit. Be put to shame by your harvest because of the Lord's burning anger. You see this? He says destruction is coming from one end of the earth to the other. No one will have any peace. There will be no peace. And you see this. They've sown wheat but harvested thorns, exhausted themselves with no profit, and yet they don't turn, right? Be put to shame. What you have brought about in your life should put you to shame. And the horrible thing is, there is none. That's the terrible thing. Boy, we get in a dangerous place with the Lord when we are living in what we should be ashamed of, and yet we are so calloused that we don't have any shame at all. Listen, shame is a grace gift from the Lord to save us from destruction. It's to call us back, and that's what he's saying. The problem is there's no shame there anymore. Hey, I hope that's helped. God bless you as you study. Those of you who are teaching, thanks for watching, and thanks for teaching. Man, I hope this has been of help to you. Be sure and subscribe, like, comment, share. We appreciate it when you do all of those things. We'll see you next time.